to be known as the one that took the high road.
We got pages and pages of ticket text. We got phones that are on fire. We're going to get to Izzo audio, Fran McCaffrey audio, the handshake line. Your calls, so much more. It's coming up after the update. 97.1.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Brought to you by Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The Big Ten of Michigan basketball agreeing to the punishment for the embarrassing scene at the end of the Wolverines-Badgers game on Sunday, handing out a 5-game suspension to head coach Juwan Howard, 1-game suspensions to players Musa Diabate and Terrence Williams, and a statement of apology from their head coach after he reflected on the incident. Howard saying that he truly is sorry and did not represent the school with class and pride as a Michigan man during that physical altercation. Also, Michigan State coach Tom Izzo asked for his opinion on Monday. His strongest stance was actually against the suggestion of doing away with handshake lines.
That, to me, would be the biggest farce, joke, ridiculous nature of anything I've ever heard of. It's hard to hold them accountable, and now we're going to tell them to not man up and walk down a line on someone who's kicked your butt and have enough class to shake their hand. Is utterly ridiculous.
Izzo did say that the scuffle in Madison was bad for college basketball, but wouldn't get into specifics on the situation because he didn't have all the details. His team plays in Iowa City tonight after falling outside the top 25 in the AP poll. On the women's side, the Wolverines move up 3 spots to number 6. They would clinch their first Big Ten regular season crown with wins this week over MSU and Iowa. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar for more. Stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
You gotta love Chris Villar. Cat out of the bag, stealing our thunder with that Izzo audio.
Chris, you sitting here, Ortiz?
But that's Tom Izzo's thoughts on the handshake line, and we can play it back for people a little bit too. He thinks this notion that some have put out there, how do we do a handshake line? We do a handshake line because at the end of the game,
Because we've always done it, right?
not because we've always done it, because there's something to be said for you pay respect to the other side at the end of the game. Because you can compose yourself enough to say, hey, better man won today. And if we don't allow people, if we don't teach people to do that, is that not a societal failing?
I think it's a bit of an overreaction. Should you be able to? Yeah. And different sports have different, let's call them traditions.
Like hockey in the playoffs when you eliminate a team, it's one of the cool moments where they get in the handshake line and you go through.
And for football, in my experience, it's a little bit different because, yeah, sometimes you meet at midfield, but in college, especially at the big house, right, the visiting team is on the side with the tunnel. They are up the tunnel first. And a lot of times, the officials or security will hold, Michigan back and allow the visiting team to go up the tunnel so they're not going up the tunnel at the same time. But then there are times where you're going up together or some guys come across the field and shake hands. It's a little bit different in football because the traditions are different. And when you get to pro sports, I think it varies again as well. And I've talked about my experience. In college, I don't even remember, having that interaction with the opposing team.
Do you think you would have struggled without a cool down period? Somebody beats you, and now you got to go shake their hand right after the game. Would you have struggled with it?
No, I wouldn't have struggled with it if you had to do it. But we didn't have to do it. And so my theory when I got into the NFL was if I just spent 75 plays, I spent 3 hours beating the hell out of you, and you beating the hell out of me, and I came up on the short end of the stick, I didn't want to necessarily see you. I
get not wanting to.
I may see you, okay, after I go in the locker room, we do our press, responsibilities, we get cleaned up, and then we go out and, hey, I got buddies on the other team or the opposing player. I would then, at that time, go and shake hands, say, nice game. And so it's a little bit different because generally locker room tunnels in the NFL are different. Tunnels where teams are going to are different. In basketball, I think most of them are going through the same tunnel. I think happens after games.
Do you think it should continue?
I'm okay if it does. I'm okay if it doesn't. I don't think we have to force it. And it doesn't mean that you can't be a good sport or that you're not a good sport. It just means it's a handshake.
There's Fran McCaffrey audio as well. He's not necessarily on the same page as Tom Izzo. I haven't heard this, so let's play it.
The handshake line is not something I'm a favor of.
Oh.
Not that I'm not in favor of sportsmanship. Clearly I am. But, I think it's a recipe for a problem. It happens all the time.
Do you think it should just be eliminated, or should it be case by case with the team winning?
See, the thing, I don't think people realize that there's a lot of conversation that goes on between the coaches and the players before the end of the game. If you want to give somebody a hug, you can. If you want to spend time with somebody, you can. It doesn't have to be forced. It doesn't have to be right at that moment. A lot of things happen throughout the course of the game. A lot of intensity, a lot of stuff said. So you're going to have an issue. And there has been some. I think we just move on.
So that's Fran McCaffrey of Iowa says he doesn't think we need to have handshake lines.
And during the shoot around, right, before games, you'll see players from both teams talking at half court, shooting on the same basket. And when I was in the NFL, I would get there 4 hours before the game. I would go out and sit on the bench. And, I talked about this when Jeff Fisher was named the head coach of the Michigan Panthers. He would come out when we would play Tennessee and talk to all of the players on the field, not just his own. I'd be sitting on the bench and he'd come down and sit down. We'd talk for half an hour. And you have this interaction with players, guys that I would play against for that coming 3.5 hours would sit down. We would talk about, in the NFL it's different because, you're talking about your family, you're talking about, different teammates that you had and different stories. And then after the game, why would you want to force an interaction between two guys that we know would get along? We just, we just spent 3.5 hours banging heads. I could take a cool off period and, see you under, in the bowels of the stadium.
You're really big on not overreacting. So I know you're not saying change the handshake line because of this Juwan Howard thing. I know you're not saying that, but it's coming up because right now of Juwan Howard. And I think it would be the worst thing in the world to say because Juwan Howard couldn't conduct himself and shake hands that we should do away with the practice altogether.
I don't think there should be a ruling by the Big Ten or by the NCAA that says no more handshake lines. Because there are going to be guys, and we see it in the NFL, right? The jersey exchange. We see it in the NBA. Guys, after the game, they're walking off, and it's like
They're buddies.
They're buddies, right? And some people have the ability to flip that switch. That's great. And if I was forced to do the handshake line, sure, I could shake your hand.
I like forced. It's not like someone puts John Jansen at gunpoint into a handshake
But
line.
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that way. If you have that type of personality where you can turn it off, great.
I think it's hard to turn off for some athletes, and I get it because this is hyper competitive. The drive to win is what fuels you, and when you lose, you come down from the high, and that's frustrating. But I think that's why the handshake line is so important because we are teaching you to deal with defeat.
It's very different from sport to sport as well. And this is something that they've done, and I don't think that anybody should come out and say you shouldn't do this anymore. I do think between coaches that should happen. And we see it in the NFL. Coaches meet at midfield, shake hands. We see it after every NBA and college basketball game that the coaches come over and shake hands. They should be able to do that. And because they're not on the floor, right? They're not the ones that are sweating, they're butting heads,
And
they're banging bodies.
Yeah.
They're as invested emotionally, but not physically.
Do you guys think that we can just invoke a new thing? Let's keep it. And if a player or coach decides to walk the other way, we understand it and we don't criticize it.
Yeah,
I think that's the lesson learned here.
You're saying for an individual player, not a whole team?
Or a coach, yeah. And like if Juwan just said, I
I
can't do this. I want nothing to do
today.
with him.
Yeah,
But the rest of the
walked
team.
off, he would have been criticized.
sure.
And I think we need to stop doing that. I know Chris Chelios was once criticized for not doing the handshake after a series. We've criticized other people who haven't done it and blown it off.
Distance.
I mean, even Brady got some criticism for the Nick Foles stuff after the
Right.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe where we need to go, where we're just not going to be, let's just accept the fact that somebody's willing to walk away. It may not be the best of sports, but it's for the better good for them and the team.
Well, and not to do radio from 30 plus years ago, but that was the whole Bad Boy Pistons thing, right? With Jordan, and they didn't want to shake hands at the end of the game. So, I mean, this does go back quite a bit. 248-539-9797, the handshake lines under the microscope. Izzo says, are you freaking kidding me? We should never get rid of the handshake line. Fran McCaffrey says, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Two very different opinions from two coaches in the same sport in the same conference. Where are you at on this? 248-539-9797. Keep taking phone calls. Let's go to Larry in Detroit. Larry, you're on 97.1.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to make this real quick. So, Tom Brady gets 2-3 cheap shots. He's not going to want to shake the guy's hand. Some players at the end of the game are just, man, I can't believe what just happened. And they don't shake hands just because of their mind. When you look at the camera at a football game and you see players still on the bench shaking their head, the point I'm trying to make is just like I just heard. It's not about winning and losing. It's about winning and losing when you're playing T-ball when you're 12. But when you get further up, it's about the way the game is played. Was there cheap shots? Was there intentional fouls? Were there bad calls? All of these things bring emotions towards the end, and then now you got to go shake hands. Not one athlete I know is going to doggone say, I'm not shaking their hand because we lost. I just wanted to throw that out because it's a whole lot more than that. And I just think we're past shaking hands because sometimes the emotions are just running high. And I like in football how they do. Hey, I played college football with this guy. I'm a tap fist with him and keep it moving. But this guy just, this guy hit me in cheap shot and spit in my face. No, I'm not shaking his hand. So, great show. Talk to you later.
Thank you. And it's, I don't know that it necessarily, it's not about the wins and the losses in the handshake line. And it's not, and I get it if somebody was cheap shotting you, yeah, you don't want to, do that. That wasn't it for me. It wasn't about how the game was played. It was about my own mental state and the fact that I just needed some time to cool off. And I felt like if I didn't want to have that experience after a loss, and sometimes it was after a win, like some of the games that we won, and I think back and I thought, man, I really didn't play well. It wasn't anything about the opponent. It was just, I needed some time. And then once you get to the locker room, you cool off, you talk to the media, and then you do go and see, and sometimes I would seek out a guy that I played against and be like, hey man, you played a really great game. And at that time, they're more willing to accept it. I'm more willing to accept it. Win, loss, it didn't matter. That's just how I operate. I wouldn't expect you to want to come over and shake my hand if you lost, or if you felt like you played a bad game or I dominated you. It's just,
why do I got to be the one that played the bad game that got dominated? What's going on?
It's an example, my friend.
Sure, the example. Are you Izzo? Are you McCaffrey? Which side are you on? It's 97.1.
Hey, Ideal You. I've been working with them since the beginning of the year, and I am down 42 pounds since January 3rd. I'm in the lock-in phase right now. I have an appointment this afternoon, and here's what I like about Ideal You. You detoxify and you lose weight by using whole foods. And because of that, Ideal You is running a limited time promotion right now where you get $200 in free groceries when you purchase the program. And I'm here to tell you, it really works. Like I said, I'm down 42 pounds since the start of the year. I'm in clothes that I haven't worn in 2-3 years. If you're looking at the spring and thinking, hey, I want to be ready for summer, I want to be ready to wear some clothes that I feel good in, now's the time to take action. Give Ideal You a call. You can find them on the web at idealu.us. Here's some of the other things I like about it. They teach you what to eat and drink to lose weight. You're in contact with your weight loss coach on a daily basis through text message, through app. I mentioned today I'm going for a checkup again as well for a weigh-in. And then once you reach your goal, they're going to teach you how to keep the weight off. Go with the program that uses real food to lose weight. They've got locations in Sterling Heights, Livonia, Ann Arbor. Book today, and Ideal You will give you $200 in free groceries when you sign up for the program on top of a free body composition analysis. Book your free consultation right now at idealu.us. Results may vary based on physical health and adherence to the program. No weight loss or health guarantees are provided or implied.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the Dudley WWG EM 950 Traffic Center. This report brought to you by North Bloomfield Properties. 94 westbound, the exit ramp at Van Dyke. There's a minor accident blocking the right shoulder. Also, potholes could still be an issue southbound 75 between the Davison and Knapp. At this time, at least a half a dozen cars reported off to the shoulder. Meantime, Eureka Road between 275 and Inkster Road, look for potholes, as well as 275 around 6 Mile and 14 both ways between 275 and Northville Road and 94 westbound at Greenfield. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jensen. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
Starting route to 20520 Kenfield Street.
If you're looking for a place to call
In
home,
3/4 of a mile,
Bloomfield
turn
Properties
left onto
find the
West
best
14
place for you
Mile
and your
Road.
family. We also provide pre-screened quality tenants to our property owners. We love to match good people to good homes.
At the
Contact
next
us
light,
today.
turn left.
NorthBloomfield.com.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the biggest threats don't always strike the biggest targets. Almost half of all cyber attacks target small businesses. So help protect yours with Comcast Business Security Edge. It's advanced security that continuously scans for threats and helps protect every connected device. On the largest, fastest, reliable network with speeds up to 10 gigs to the most small businesses. So switch today and get cutting-edge speed with advanced security and be ready for
At
what's
the light,
next.
turn left
Comcast
onto West
Business,
14 Mile
powering
Road.
possibilities.
Then turn right onto Inkster
Get
Road.
started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $60 a month for 24 months. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call or go online today to find out more. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Prepaid card offer ends 3/21/22.
Craig Goslin, president and managing partner of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club of the Ontario Hockey League, discusses his Applied Imaging
At the stop
relationship.
sign,
When I think
turn
of our
right onto
relationship with
Inkster
Applied
Road.
Imaging, I think of their people. My direct experience with Applied Imaging is that they have high character people with superior talent, with a focus on their clients' needs of high quality and efficiency. And it runs all the way through their company from the top to the bottom.
Applied Imaging's culture.
In
Yeah,
1.4
our
miles,
culture
turn
at
right
Applied
onto
Imaging
Northwestern
aligns perfectly
Highway.
together, and they walk the walk every day with their incredible focus on philanthropy, the worthy causes and charities in the communities that they serve. And we do the same exact thing with the Saginaw Spirit in our hockey program.
The benefit?
Because our partnership makes us better as a company, it makes our community better as a community as well.
Character, talent, focus, community. Call Applied Imaging today. 800-521-0983. 800-521-0983. Or visit appliedimaging.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. We can help you save on the right oil for your vehicle. Right now, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic or Castrol Edge Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $35.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery. Restrictions apply. Saving at the Home Depot means you can do more for less. Like making dishwashing easier with this KitchenAid dishwasher, complete with 3rd-level rack and a Pro Wash cycle that adapts to each load. Enjoy savings on top-rated appliances online, in-store, or on the Home Depot app. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last. Valid February 10th through March 2nd, 2022. Free delivery applies to orders of $396 or more. My leg was painful, red, and swollen just doing the crossword puzzle. I could have put off telling my doctor.
Yo. Yeah, he texted me, but then he texted me like 5 minutes later saying never mind. Alright. Yep, we'll see ya.
What do you say? Nick.
texted this morning wanting us to drive a dump truck. But then he texted 5 minutes later and said, never mind. And found somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Right.
So close. Looks like he used the bottle. We're just gonna have to use the bottle.
Keep working on.
This night I had an emergency.
a close contest, I can't lie. I'm on my edge of my seat making sure that they're going to kindly walk through, shake each other's hands, and make it up for their loss time without, 1-point game overtime. I mean, it gets me a little on edge as the game's wrapping up.
Ryan, let me ask you a question, because I've got young kids, and at the end of basketball games, at the end of baseball games, at the end of any contest, I got a tennis player, they go to the net, they shake hands. Do you believe that there's a difference in a handshake line between what you learn in youth leagues and in high school and what you may see at the either college or professional level?
I do think there is, because of the level of game, the level of competition. As you guys have said a few minutes ago, I mean, those professional athletes, they put themselves on such a competitive level that you called it like a competitive high. And for them to come down, I mean, some of them need space. And you always figure out as a coach, like, oh, that's the athlete that needs space. Don't talk to him for 2 minutes type of idea. And you give him his space, and then he calms down and he goes back out and does his thing. But you probably got more of those types of athletes professionally compared to youth sports. You wanna train the kids to think, yeah, it's a game. You might not be doing this forever, so prepare yourself for other parts of life so that you handle yourself the best you can as a citizen.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Let's go to Todd and Lake Quarry. And Todd, you got some thoughts on the handshake line too?
Yeah, I'm all for the handshake line. My dad taught me, if you can't handle losing, you don't deserve to win. Whenever you compete against anybody, be it in game of tennis, football, whatever it is, there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And if you can't accept that there's a good chance that that's going to be you, then you don't get to play. I mean, if you guys are underestimating to me what a handshake line is. It's showing appreciation for someone who put in just as much work as you did. You come in and coach the film session, that's not what it is as you did. And today, they were better than you. Now, for tomorrow, I'm going to do everything in my ability to change that, but it's out of respect to the hard work and effort. You know how much it took you to get to where you're at, so you understand that they did the same to get there. And it's a privilege to play sports. It is. It's not for everybody, especially at that level. And again, if you can't handle losing, you don't get to play. It doesn't know there's going to be a winner and a loser. And if you're a quick winner, that means you're a poor loser.
Well, but it doesn't also mean, it doesn't have to be about the wins and the loss. It can also just be about the battle that you had. Why does it have to be right at that moment? Why can't it be, after both teams come out of the locker room? There's a cooling off period before you talk to the media. And I'm talking about, college sports or professional sports. There's a cooling off period. There's a set amount of time, and it's collectively bargained for professional sports.
Why are you taught is that you have to learn how to lose.
But
You have to learn, and I think when the older you do it, the worse off you are. The consequences are far worse.
Here's my issue is, I don't think it doesn't have to have anything to do about accepting a loss or being a good winner.
That's why we all need to agree that let's continue the tradition. But if you as an individual recognize that I shouldn't do this right now because I am not functioning, then you walk away and we don't criticize you. We have to accept that. That's the change that needs to be made here. Because I do think we're hockey's, and I'm a big hockey guy. The handshake at the end of a series. But guess what? If somebody decides not to be a part of it, then I'm no longer criticizing them for doing it. That's what I've learned out of all this, is that you just let a guy walk away. And let's not rip him. Because if he recognizes or she recognizes that I can't do this right now, that's the win. I think that's a win.
248-539-9797. We got calls on the handshake line. Yes, it's coming up. No, we're not the first to bring it up. It's in response to Juwan Howard's behavior. We will get into Juwan Howard's suspension, details, the fallout, every other punishment as well. Coming up at 7:50. It's 97.1.
Hey, you want to get away? Maybe you're tired of those handshakes. You want to relax and just simply have a good time? Get to the D Las Vegas Vegas for everything you need. The D is taking all the necessary precautions to make sure your stay is safe and you can enjoy all the comforts of a high-end Las Vegas hotel without missing out on any of the high gaming energy and nightlife you're looking for. Remember, if you're looking for something to eat, you want something casual, go to the D Grill. They've got the American Coney Island. Who doesn't love a Coney dog? And then if you're looking for a steak, the best steak in Vegas is at Andiamo Steakhouse right there at the D. At the D Las Vegas, the staff can set you up with a round of golf, and you can party all night at the Long Bar. So get a group together and get to the D Las Vegas. Book a room at thed.com. That's thed.com. If you're staying on the Strip, make sure you put the D Las Vegas in downtown Vegas on your agenda.